memories stick with me. Margaritas at Pablo's. I will forever call my margarita Virginia. Barbecue at Richard's. Aqua exercise. Curves. Shopping at American Thrift. Cheering on our boys at Alabama. Roll Tide forever. How we love our Bama football. And beating Auburn. After Alabama won its opener last week against Kent State, and Auburn dodged a bullet with Utah State, I posted this on Facebook that only Aunt Jen would fully appreciate. I wrote, "Students often ask me, 'Professor, what's the difference between an A and an A+?' It's simple," I tell them. An A is when Alabama wins, and an A+ is when Alabama wins and Auburn loses. It was you, my faithful aunt. You were so generous with your time over all these years. Everybody in this room knows that. She was so good to my mom and dad when they lived in Birmingham. And even since Dad was a little boy toddling behind her in Brookwood. It was you, Aunt Jen, Dot, and Granny who welcomed Mom into your family like she had never been elsewhere. And I have to remind you, my mother was a Yankee. She was from Cambridge, Massachusetts. It was a joy for me to come home for a visit to Birmingham to see my mother and father, but also my Aunt Jen, especially when she lived so close to them on Timber Ridge. I may have been born in Augusta, Georgia, but Birmingham is forever my hometown. Just check my Facebook status. Aunt Jen, you, along with my mom and dad, are the most positive influence in my life. Imagine having two siblings, a big sister and a baby brother, instruct and guide me as adults to be the person I am today. Both Aunt Jen and my father were so upbeat, full of a great sense of humor, that I have never had a day where I did not find something to enjoy and laugh about. Aunt Jen's laugh was so infectious. How lucky I've been to be a Snow. I took a walk a few weeks ago when I was in Florence visiting my mother, and the sun was so bright. I watched the light streaming through the tree branches, and I felt the warm glow on my cheeks. I looked up at the sky, and I thought about my Aunt Jen then. She's like the bright burning sun. Her love has draped me in sunshine and goodness through every day of my life. And just like the sun, I know her love will always shine. I have you, Aunt Jen, with me forever, and it's such a comfort. You will always be my sunshine, and every day that I see the sun, I will think of Virginia Tidwell. Thank you.
Want to do your mommy's?
Oh, I have a little one, I think, here from Mom. My mom wrote this to Aunt Jen, and Ginger did us the kindness of reading this to her. She wrote, "My dearest Virginia, I remember your trip to Cambridge when you, Dot, came to visit me and Vic, how I was so charmed by your southern ways. And remember what John F. Kennedy later said about Washington, D.C. It was a city of southern efficiency and northern charm. It all seemed so natural to meet you and Dot. I took to you and you took to me so easily, as if I were always in your family. And how lucky I was to marry your brother and have 4 handsome boys and 1 beautiful daughter." Oh, that's me. "When Vic and I moved to Chattanooga and Donnie was born, once again you were a constant, lovely presence. How I loved the southern cooking, and boy did it love me, too much, as I began to pack on the pounds. How I looked forward to visiting you in Birmingham, or having you visit us in Chattanooga. When Vic and I moved to Birmingham in 1984, we were able to be neighbors. Vic loved living near his sister and his mother. You were so good to us both, checking in regularly, calling Vic to talk about the latest game, and dropping off articles or magazines of interest that you wanted us to read. You have always been such a favorite and loving person to us, ever since Vic and I were married. And your fuzzy little Putsy, the dog that you gave to us, that was one of my favorite dogs ever. I have Putsy's picture of her in the old baby crib hanging on my bedroom wall. I have the picture of the kids, Vic and me, sitting on your back porch in Inslee, hanging on the wall behind my easy chair. What would I have done without my photographer-loving sister-in-law? So many great memories to treasure forever. All my love to you, Virginia. I'm sending you a big hug and kiss. Yours, Suzanne Snow. Thank you.
Real nice.
There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There are sweet expressions on each face, and I know they feel the presence of the Lord. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings we lift our hearts in praise. Without a doubt I know that we have been revived when we shall leave this place.
You're back.
Do you want me to do it?
Chin, chin, chin. Yes.
I'll try. I'll try. I'll try.
Chin, chin. Chin, chin. You can do it. Chin, chin. Chin, chin. You can do it.
That's good.